kindly do that? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. And to continue, our very own Aarti Narang also is a believer that online reputation management is the key to faster conversion and results in business in today's digital times. Some of her clients have been celebrities representing India internationally, high-profile CEOs, authors, philanthropists, coaches, speakers, international diplomats, and even an IPS officer rather, who is an Ironman. Aarti is also faculty with Global Wedding Academy and branding mentor with Womennovator, which is a startup incubation for many entrepreneurs. To name of the so many qualities and qualifications of our superstar for today, let's hear it from Aarti. Aarti, all yours. Go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the amazing introduction, Ravina. Thank you. And is it possible I can just have a view of the audience? Can we stop the share, please? So I can go to gallery view. Yes, that's much better. Thank you very much. I'd like to make it interactive, and we're going to have a lot of learning, definitely. But let's have fun and let's have a little interaction also. Before I start, I want you to tell me, what are you expecting from this session? What is it that you want? Maybe at least I get 3 to 5 people speak about it. It would be really nice. What are your expectations from this session?
Should I go first, or let's give it up to some of our friends who are based in India? Dr. Pramod, what can you say, Doctor?
Well, Aarti is a storehouse of knowledge on branding, and I know she's done work for a few people. So I would love to be educated and enlightened on how to augment my presence online and take it to the next level.
Sure.
On the back of her actual intense experience and some use cases, but case studies, so that she can share with us what are those X factor, what are those magic points which we don't know about maintaining and augmenting the online presence, which is so critical in today's times.
Sure, I've noted that down. Sure. Yes, anybody would like to share your expectations, please?
Hi, Aarti. Can I?
Yes, Rashmi, go on.
What brought me to the session? Well, the very first help that you'd written, how the session would help, is to create an authentic and distinctive brand. Social media is all about the hype that is there around a person. And today, when everything has gone virtual, how do you maintain that authenticity is what pulled me to this session.
Sure. I will keep that in mind. Thank you. Yes. Preeti, you want to share something?
I think I will resonate with Rashmi totally. I think what pulled me here, though I was, just into another session, I came into this one just to hear that how you can build that kind of brand where it is real you being projected and not, a very flashy or something. That's what I'm looking for also.
Sure. So I'll go ahead and I will share my screen, and I will talk about myself a bit later if we have the time later on, but let's make this a very power-packed session so that you can take away with at least 3 top ideas that you can immediately apply. So I'll just share my screen quickly here, and some slides ready.
Can you see I'm doing something? No.
Can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So what is branding? So if I have to ask you, what do you think is branding? Can you tell me? I'd like to hear some voices now. Please tell me. What do you think is branding?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Yeah, branding for me is the visibility.
Yes.
Visibility, yes. Besides being obliged to explain yourself, your brand should say and give the message direct to the people. So you don't need to keep on finding ways to explain. So it's visibility for me.
Very true. Very good. Excellent. Visibility. Lovely. It is. Anybody else?
Yeah, Aarti, for me, branding is both the driver of and the derivative of trust. Brand is equal to trust.
Lovely. Awesome. Super. Anyone else? All right. So let's demystify.
Top
Yes,
of the mind recall, if I may say. Top
Yes.
of the mind recall, something that enables you to do that.
Super. Imprinting it, getting a top recall value
Yeah.
for it. Awesome. Thank you. So let's demystify what is branding. Branding is not logo. It is not an identity. It is not a company. It is not a product. What is branding? Let's demystify that today. And branding is a person's gut feeling about how they feel about your product. It's about your product, your service, and your organization, and how the other person, your target audience, or your customers feel about you, your brand. So, branding is projecting impressions that you want your customer to perceive. How do you get these impressions right? How, and it's a consistent effort. So, I really like what many of you said. It's about visibility, recall, it's about trust. It's in a way to put it together, it's about projecting impressions that you want your customer to perceive. It's a gut feeling because people are emotional, intuitive beings. It is a gut feeling because people, as I said, they are emotional and intuitive beings. And how do you connect to that emotion? Everybody can see my screen on marketing, public relations, advertising, and branding. Maybe one person can just say yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Great. So what is marketing? Today, let's talk about the 4 different aspects of business revenue generation. 1, marketing. What is marketing? In marketing, the salesperson goes to the consumer and says, my work is good, my product is good, my service is good, buy me. In public relations, it is a third person giving credentials and saying, hey, this person is good. This person is good, buy his or her service. And not only that, I guarantee you, that's public relations. In advertising, they are bombarding it again and again. I'm good, my work is good, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And in branding, the game changes. It is the customer who goes and tells the person who's selling, the salesperson, I understand your work and your service is good. Branding completely changes the game. In today's times, when everything is digital, before anybody comes to meet you or even do a Zoom call with you or a video call, they will first definitely Google you out. They will want to know a lot about you before they come and meet you. Is it worth the time or not? You will agree with me this. So it becomes even more important in today to set your projection correct. Set your perspective of what they will understand of you correct. So what is branding? Let's talk about that again. We all know that water is free, right? But the moment water is bottled and it's packaged, it sells for a price. We know in India, Aquafina will sell in for, let's say, 30 rupees. But Evian in India will sell in for 1500 rupees. And internationally, of course, the higher the amount. But here in India, with the import and all, the amount of taxes that comes up too. However, there is still a market in India for Evian. Now, I'll take this example because water is free, but the moment it's bottled, it's packaged, it sells for a price. Each of these bottles have got a different pricing structure. It is all the way it is presented to the market. It is the same water. Some company will say we have got additional flavor. Some will say fortified with minerals. Someone will say what, but it's all about the positioning. It's about packaging. It's about presenting it the way for their target audience. Now, if we again look at the statement, branding is projecting impressions that you want your customer to perceive. I hope that's it's getting into the idea of what ideology, what we say of building impressions. How do we get this right? How do we do this right? Now let's talk about that. We all know, like someone just said, branding is about recall. We look at these logos and we know what they are about, how they are talking about the imprint they have done. We know Apple stands for premiumness, user-friendly, and so also Nike and all of those. Now let's look at this ad. This advertisement, TVC, I'm going to play this ad. Just stop this video. And we will just play this ad. Is the ad ready with you by any chance, Ruvina, or would you like to play it? Okay, I found it. Let's hope this works properly. Is the music, can you hear the music?
No, Aarti. Like it's stuck. Now it's moving.
Can you hear the music?
Would we know?
No music.
No music.
Okay, so
yeah.
Ravina, would you like to play this for me, please?
Yeah, you can send it. Can you just hold on?
I have already given this link before.
Okay.
I tried to do it from my side as well. It's not doing any sounds.
Okay, I'm doing done some settings. I hope now it will work. Let's see, this works.
It works.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Here come the upstepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. Still love you. No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply. Anyone press me here, the fire they sing. Act like you know we grow. I know what both don't know. Touch them up and go. Oh, this is changing. Here come the upstepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Pick up the crew in the area. Still love you like that. Here come the upstepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Excuse me, Mr. Officer.
How was that?
It's a nice
How was that?
ad. Yeah, it's a very nice ad. I was able to watch the earlier version of that, the babies roller skating, the earlier version though. But this is a very catchy ad.
Yes. So did you get the feeling of the brand? Yes.
Yeah.
And it tried to communicate that by communicating, you drink Evian, you feel young.
Yes, live young. Yeah, that's a tagline.
Yes, and also you get engrossed in it. It's engaging, it's communicating a story, it's communicating fun, and everybody wants that. Everybody can see themselves getting young. That's what they want. So I'll go back again to my presentation, and we were over here. So what do we have about so what do these communication strategies do? Now, I'm going to give you ideas on how to build your brand projection through all these metaphors here. And I know you all will catch it very well. So we're going to talk about how are we going to get it right by building or creating stories that connect. What is your story? What is it that you want to communicate to the world, create a story which is so authentic and so genuine, which has the power of truth in it, and present it in such a way that they are hooked. They are hooked to your story. When they connect with you, that's when they will understand the solutions you offer. Now, a lot of times, people didn't even know they needed earlier when iPod was launched, people didn't even know they needed an iPod. Right? We all know this example, how Steve Jobs created the iPod. He wanted 10,000 songs in his pocket, and he always felt the Walkman is too bulky. We know the story. And he created something that he would be happy with. And it was almost as if the consumers didn't know they needed an iPod. So how do you communicate your story and create a solution that the consumers do not know that they need it, but still put it in such a way that you create the communication and the brand positioning around it? How we do it? It's by crafting in the uniqueness. What's unique about your brand? What is unique about what your offerings are? How the way you do it? In branding, we have a very systematic and a very refined methodology of decoding the uniqueness. And if I had to give you one tip on how to decode your uniqueness, look into what is your gift. What comes very naturally to you, and somebody comes to you and says, how do you manage to do it? We wonder. And someone says that, and you say, oh, it's natural, it means they are looking it as extraordinary, but for you it comes very naturally because it is your gift. Have you ever realized this? Rashmi, I'm sure many people must have told you, how do you manage to talk with that amazing, mesmerizing style? It comes very naturally because voice is your gift. Similarly, people often tell me, how do you get the ideas? It's a gift. It's an intuitive, creative gift. But how do you refine that, recognize that, and put it forward to solve the problems of the world, to solve the problems of people, help them to make their life easy with your gift? Showcase your uniqueness. Now, just like to reference Fiji water. There's an amazing case study about Fiji water branding. You can Google it out, how they created a niche for themselves in spite of coming in a very well-tenured bottled industry. So I won't take time on this because we just have around 30 minutes more and I have lots to share. So do reference this out, note it down. It's an amazing story. So coming to here, do you ever find yourself asking these questions? Why one month is high on cash, another month low, or another month a struggle? Do you ask yourself, why do competitors with less ability consistently get more business than I do? Or why am I dependent on a few clients? Why do I never seem to reach my income goals? When does it get easier? Most of the entrepreneurs go through this stage in the start of the business when they wonder how to get their things right. So if one of these questions is something you resonate with, my promise to you is at the end of this session, you will definitely know techniques how to stand out and be memorable. You will know how to attract premium business and how to expedite results. So let's get into the nuts and bolts for the session. We've all visited an Apple store, right? I want a little bit of interaction here. So I'm going to stop the share. Okay, let's say you go in for a app to purchase the latest iPhone. Okay, and when you go to buy the latest iPhone, you picked it up, and then the store person takes the iPhone and packs it in a bag, and he just wraps it and he says, take your new iPhone. Will you like it? You will not like it. You will definitely not like it. And you will wonder, what is going on? You will say, this is the best iPhone. This is the best iPhone, but the way it was presented in a shabby bag, you definitely would not like it. But what if if the store manager came to you with a nice packaging like this, and he put the iPhone in it, and he says, "Congratulations, your brand new purchase." And he made you feel good, he made you feel royal. How would you feel about it? It's the same iPhone. So you have a gift. How do you package your gift to the world? Did you package that gift in a very simplified way, or a little more with love and effort and a little more of strategic planning? And it is a combination of both that works. I often tell my clients, I will give you the best Ferrari. It's the engine also that matters. The Ferrari will help you to zoom, fly up to reach your goals. But your engine is something that has to be very authentic. And this takes me to my next point, and I go back to my screen and I'll share that with you. Okay. So the FAST dot is the acronym that you can note it down. The F is for feelings, how you make your prospective customer or client, or how you make your current customer your brand ambassador. It's all upon how you make them feel. And I also spoke about authenticity. How good is your engine? How good is the value that you're giving back to the world? It says authenticity. Does it have a little more than you promised? And the authenticity matters a lot, especially in the digital world, because it's trust. Like Dr. Pramod said, it's about trust. I totally agree. It's about trust. It's about how you build that authenticity and continue delivering a wow, not the first time, not the second time, not the third time, but every time. Okay, I'm going to the next one. What is the next most important tip? And that is, let's say you go to buy a camera and you go into a store. Which one will you buy? There are hundreds of different models available. Which one will you buy? You will look at your requirement and you will go into a more specialized into the section which has cameras specialized for night photography. So when you specialize, your target audience will recognize you. That's a very important line. You've got to make yourself visible so that your target audience knows what you offer. By putting in too many services, sometimes they wonder what you do specialize in. And when you specialize in something that you really stand out for, you can charge a premium because they know you are an expert in it. So I come into the third point, and that is specialize. Like for example, I specialize in personal branding and CEO branding. This does not mean I do not take up startup branding or corporate branding. I do get those inquiries. I do execute those projects, but I position myself as a personal branding expert or a CEO branding expert, and that helps me to carve a niche in a very overcrowded market. What is your specialization that you want to really imprint? Think about that. Get that out over there. And one thing very most important is, along with specialization, before we talk about touch points, is a target audience. Define your target audience. When you define your target audience, you can craft your communication as per that target audience so that your tribe recognizes you, your tribe knows this is what I want. So understanding and crafting communication based on your target audience is very important. Moving into touch points, integrate all your touch points with a wow experience. What are your touch points going to be? I will cover a little more in detail later, but in my past experience, I have seen, working very closely with coaches and trainers, that their profile would have a different look and feel. Their PowerPoint presentation would have a different look and feel. At times, their business card would be very different. So all these need to be very well integrated together. A few touch points, the letterhead, the business cards, the LinkedIn profiles, the brochures, or maybe even the thank you card, all has to be very well integrated to talk about the brand influence. Now, going to the other one, the target audience I did cover along with the specialization. And target audience is very, very crucial, as I would say, is you can't make everybody happy. So who is those specialized offering that you're doing that will make your target audience rave about you? And of course, there are many things that we ourselves can't do it. We should delegate it or outsource it. And it saves time, money, and energy. And of course, now the most important thing is yet to come, but I still go through these lines talking about feelings, authenticity, specialization, integrating all the touch points, target audience, and keeping them in mind while crafting communication, outsourcing when needed. And the last T, I come to that one, and that is, let's take a pause and talk about this. If a brand looks like a duck and swims like a dog, people will distrust it, correct? And how do we make a duck be the duck or dog or look a dog? So it is all about your actions and the authenticity that you display. So we tend to base our buying decisions on trust, which is equal to reliability and creating a delight. And of course, the last one is the most important is the trust factor. So what are the challenges of a modern entrepreneur? Are you with me? One person can just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I have just the screen. I can't see the audience checking. Challenges of a modern entrepreneur. It's about growth. It's about sustainability. And it's about creating influence. Now, time for some more nuts and bolts. So we go to two most important pillars of branding. The first one is corporate branding. If you run an enterprise and if you have a team, you have staff, and you have a massive product or services, or even if you have more than 3 people and the business is dependent on the outcomes delivered by your team, we recommend enterprise branding or corporate branding. But in case of personality-based businesses like coaching or training, or it could be even lawyers, or it could be even singers, celebrities, we recommend them personal branding. Now, what is there in personal branding? We talk about that here. Imagine you are on a date. You just go fly down past the memory lane and you are on a date. And you must have seen this Indian movie sometime if you're fond of Bollywood. This was about a movie where they met on a dating app. Now, just imagine these two people on a date would meet like this. They would wear a box bag and they cannot see the face. Do you think there will be trust? If we are hiding behind our box bag, our target audience cannot recognize us. How will they build a connect with us? We need to tear off this box bag, come out, be visible, talk about our emotional story, be out there and connect with the audience. And personal branding, I cannot talk unless it's so much about personal branding that I will go on and on. But I can just say right now is there are many entrepreneurs whose business is based on their personality and they're hiding behind the box. They need to be out there. And when they connect, they will build a more stronger brand with their audience. So what are in personal branding, what all you cover? You can note this down as to what all you should be covering when you are working on your personal brand or your personal online reputation. Cover who you are. Why do you do what you do? This why you do what you do is very, very important. Communicating your purpose in a way that is, it builds a connect Remember, emotional stories connect. So, and it has to be authentic again, and you've got to believe in it. What value do you want to create? Communicate that value to the world. What is your brand promise? What do you stand for? What is it that your customer will gain out of working with you? Communicate that in your communication. What do you want to be known for? And create that specialization, that niche. Now, I just want to give you an example of this gentleman, how very strongly he had, unfortunately, with all the information that came around him, his brand image was tarnished, but he worked on being human foundation, and he did a lot of stuff to build on his personal brand. Steve Jobs, you look at him anytime, he's known Apple, it means Steve Jobs. So we all know the CEO's power it carries with the personal brand and the image. I often give this example is, let's say there is a race happening, a Ferrari race, Renault, Mercedes, all the best of the cars are there in this formula race. All of these best brands have got the best backing. They have the best of the best. I'll just stop the screen here. They have the best of the best backing from sponsors. They have the best crew members. They have excellent funding. But what is it that one of them will win? What is the game changer? All of these best brands who are participating in the Formula race are fabulous. But what is the defining thing that sets the one to win? It is the driver. You are the CEO of your business. You are the driver of your business. You have the power to make it. And the CEO branding and the personal corporate branding goes hand in hand in today's times. So coming back to what I had to say, how much time? Quickly rush through a few more slides to talk about. I'll skip this. And let me just talk about what are personal branding things that you can cover. Your personal profiles in social media, you can sharpen them up with all the information I gave in about specialization, target audience, and communicating your why. Your one page about you, get that aligned with good enough brand projection and substance on the content bit. Use testimonials. Share your why of the business. How do you treat your employees is also a very important aspect in branding. How your team members interact with your clients. They will judge, they will come to know that. Social proofing is the most important, I believe. Instead of me saying I'm good, let the testimonials talk about it. Use a lot of testimonials via video, or it could be even written, and keep on using a lot of social proofing. Your proposals also can include testimonials. I also believe the website can have at least one short testimonials on each page. In corporate branding, I'm just quickly going to run through corporate branding, and I will have at least the last 10 minutes for a Q&A. Okay, corporate branding, one of the most important things, even in personal branding, is creating a brand identity, a logo. And there are different ways of course, the brand identity that these are some of the brand identities we've created. And there is a way also, if it's a personal brand, we recommend you have your name as your brand logo. Then we have your virtual office. Get your website integrated beautifully to project your brand influence. Content curation. How do you create the content? Either get it done from an expert, or if you would like to do it, I would say minimum content, to the point. People don't read much data in these today's times. So keeping in mind specialization, keeping in mind target audience, you can definitely curate your content over there. But I also highly recommend blogging, using the right visual imagery, and of course, consumer engagement strategies. These are for a high level corporate branding, and also in personal branding, you can definitely do a lot of engagement strategies. For example, on LinkedIn, you can create themes. In these themes, what you do is, like I have one client of mine, she will run a theme around stress management. Relax karo.
Yeah.
She would then have, after another couple of weeks, she will run another campaign around hope.
I just have to attend something. I'll call you when it's over. Bye. Bye. Bye.
We're integrating touch points with an elevator pitch. I think I've got a lot of information. I'll just go through quickly. We are running short of time. So these are a few other touch points that you can integrate. And in this, your elevator pitch, your business cards, your stationery, your PowerPoint presentations, your one-page, your multi-page profiles, even your proposals that you make, all have to be very well integrated with the brand communication, the brand promise, of course, the visual imagery of the brand. Branding success doesn't happen overnight. You have to be consistent, stay bold, and stay truly authentic. I think with this, I can just end my presentation, and I'll be open the floor for a few questions before we wrap up. Yes. Are you still there? Someone is sleeping.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We were just listening, taking notes, so that's why we were silent actually.
Yeah,
Thank
we're here with you, listening all the way.
I miss those live master classes, and it used to be so much fun doing. I hope we get back to the real master class in classroom. We can meet people. Yes.
Very true.
Yeah,
Does
I think
anybody
everyone
have-
is, yeah.
Yes, Ravina, go on.
Yes, for anyone among all our audience today who wants to ask Aarti or any question. Or maybe I should start, I think, yeah, with the question. Yeah, Aarti. Yeah, thank you for today, Aarti. It was really inspiring, and I personally learned a lot. I'd like to ask you, what's your view in relation to low conversion rates? Like, I think this is the challenge now. We are receiving, like in my case, I'll just give myself as an example. I'm getting on how I can relate it with branding and this current situation that pandemic is going on. How can I increase the conversion rate of inquiries that we are getting for the specific service that we do? Because the market is so competitive, and we believe sometimes that we are beaten by the price. So how, in relation to branding, how can we better, how do you call this, work on it, that we convert inquiries without considering the price issue? What should be our branding strategy in that aspect?
So, very good question and very relevant. It is how to convince or how to enable the customer to decide that they should go and work with you. So, number one, I would say over there is include a lot of testimonials in your proposal. Okay, that is actually the second phase. But initially, the first phase, if you are meeting those clients, do you meet them personally or over Zoom in their first interaction?
Now the challenge is because most of the clients that we have are outside UAE. So the only way is via Zoom at the moment. So unlike in the past, they can travel or we can meet them here. But now with the challenging situation is we only do meetings via Zoom now for outside UAE clients. So.
Say, I'll have to know more about your business. But I would also like to say, try to build an emotional connect. Communicate the reason you got into this business. Do you have an emotional story as to why you specialized or you chose this field? Why are you so passionate about this field? Build in a rapport, understand what they are looking for, and building a relationship and a rapport and communicating your story, building that trust. When they see you are passionate about what you do, they know they will get good quality work. So hence communicating that specialization and passion is important. Second, I also would say, and give them all the tools that will make their life easy to decide that they need to work with you. Think what tools they need to make that decision. Work on those tools and provide those tools which will build trust that yes, you will deliver what they are expecting. So maybe we on one-on-one, we can have a discussion later. I'll need to understand your business a little more and maybe can assist you with that. But on a very broader level, I feel building trust is the answer. And all the touch points, integrating a lot of touch points to it.
Thank you, Aarti. Yeah, anyone else?
Yes, Asli?
Yes, Aarti, today is one of the biggest intake for me about the trust. And for example, now I think that branding is living one of the most challenging times because, okay, now we have got more tools to promote ourselves, reach more people. But for example, especially I'm Turkish, we are a very traditional market. Okay, so for example, for us, we always, and what we are taught in school is to make archetype marketing and archetypes, to attack, for example, if a person in 100% of the pasta advertisements in Turkey is a happy mother, kids come from school, they eat pasta, husband happy, kids happy, it's all about traditional things. But now what has happened is now that we got the social media, so people can see what other countries are doing, what other peoples are doing. So what happened? Now the women don't want kids to come from school. Now they want a table with, candles and the husbands to cook, all this stuff. So this has become more challenging. The more wider the opportunities, now smaller the market is becoming. This is what I feel, because it's not easy to now understand people. For example, there was a very classical chocolate company in Turkey, very traditional fathers and conservative family. And then all of a sudden, beginning of 2000s, their business started going down. Then the daughter came from United States and she made an advertisement, made two naked Italian chefs play in the advertisement. The chef was making chocolate, and then the company made 2 factories in a year because it was something so strange that, literally everything that was not spoken, everything that was not out there was there. So I think that I have taken all the notes. It's all about making people take it personal. So it was
making it emotional, creating an emotional story and building an emotional connect.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was very nice.
Thank you, Asli, for sharing. Anyone has another question, please ask.
I had been taking notes a lot, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Kajala. Kajala, thank you for inviting me. It was a very chance meeting that we had on one of the WhatsApp groups that we met. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. It's kind of a good session and a very insightful as well.
Thank you for appreciating. Yes.
And may I say one more last thing, because
yes.
Now the very first slide that you showed us about, advertising, about the promoting, and lastly was the branding. So I think that big applause to Cardella, because literally she never makes advertisement, she never goes public relation, but we all talk about her. So she's literally a brand in women empowerment, because she doesn't talk, but we say to her, we love Iris, we love Cardella. So I think that I wanted to say on this last Saturday, a big applause to you. Really?
Yes, yes. The woman behind iWest and the woman behind all our Saturday dates
Absolutely.
every afternoon.
Absolutely.
She
Thank
is
you,
the walking
Cardella.
iWest, walking brand.
Yeah, and very selflessly, very with a lot of authenticity, with a lot of intention to give. She really does that. So, salute to you, Cardella.
Thank you so much, girls. Thank you so much.
It was really meeting. It was really wonderful meeting everybody, and I'm very grateful to everyone for putting in their time and listening today. I hope I was able to give some good points. That at least pick up apply those 3 points. Your 1 hour will be worth it.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me just for a one-on-one conversation, just feel free to connect.